Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Have some news to talk about today, some important stuff going on, and some of this is not front page news, but nevertheless it is important because it's all part of a bigger picture. You know, it's the little pieces of a puzzle that form a real big picture, and that big picture is, as many of you know, is just, it's the New World Order. It's them taking away your rights and taking away your property and trampling on your family and your traditions and your beliefs. They just want to consume, and that's basically it. They want to consume and control and well, probably reduce how many of us there are. And so that's why we should stay on top of the things that are happening. Before I get to that, I do want to mention that I am putting out more content over on Rumble. I'm trying my best to mirror all of everything over there. It's set up to do that automatically. It doesn't always work, so I make sure that most of the content that's put up here on YouTube is over on Rumble, but I am putting up additional content on Rumble. I've posted a video today, and there'll be a link in the description below so that you can go over there and watch that video. And please subscribe to the channel over there so that you can stay on top of it. I suspect it'll get to the point, before we know it, that places like YouTube is just not going to be safe for folks like you and I. So I'm trying to actively work now to set that up by diversifying, putting stuff on Rumble. We've got Patreon, which is a subscription service that you can sign up to. That gets you more intimate, I guess you could say, personal type content. Also doing a lot more stuff on Twitter. I've not always been a fan of it, but with the being a little bit more of a free speech platform anymore, trying that out, and then also putting more mellow stuff, you know, homestead kind of things over on Facebook. So we're just trying to diversify everything so that, you know, the day comes that we're no longer on YouTube, you'll still be able to find us. So go over and click that link down the description to the Rumble channel. I think you'll like some of the content. My wife's also helping out with a lot of the content over there, where we just talk. We just do these fireside chats, and we just talk about anything and everything. Oh, let's get on with this news, folks. This one right here, this is something I've been warning about. I've been warning about this one, folks. Came out in the news. Oklahoma beef cattle numbers have dropped sharply. Now, a week or so ago, I was talking about how the USDA has said that the total beef cattle herd of America is the lowest number it's been since 1962. Yeah, 1962. Well, how much bigger is the population than it was in 1962? I haven't looked that up, but I suspect it's substantially different, especially when you add in all the influx of people crossing the border, undocumented. We'll use that, you know, politically correct term. These numbers here are saying that they lost last year about 600,000 cattle. And these aren't cows that's being, you know, being sold, and steer and stuff being sold to eat. These are cattle that are dying because of heat exhaustion, because they had to be euthanized, because they couldn't feed them. 600,000, that's just one state, folks. That's one state. There's a lot of states that have large herds. Texas, Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, Colorado, several of them, all throughout the Midwest. You can find large cattle herds. This report is just Oklahoma. So will we see an increase of price of beef over the next few months? Almost definitely. Will it get to the point that there could be shortages? Possibly. There also in the report a couple of weeks ago said that the hay amount, the amount of hay that the country has, is down to the lowest level since the early 70s, I think like 1974. Fertilizer prices this year are expected to be even higher than they were last year. Yes, there is a war against food. There is a war against good, healthy food, because they want you eating bugs and all kinds of lab-created fake stuff. And we're starting to see that. We've seen it with chickens. Some of you wouldn't have ever believed it. And even last year when we were talking about it, a lot of you were naysayers. I don't notice any difference. Well, here we are. Same thing is happening again with the beef. How long will it be? I don't know. But there's definitely, we're definitely watching them limit the amount of beef out there. It's all, if you just open the websites and read their pages, the United Nations, the World Economic Forum, all of these green peace tree hugging whatever people. That's what they talk about. They want to reduce the size of the cattle herds, and they're doing it. The U.S. Border Patrol chief says that there's a tremendous concern that felons and terrorists are among millions that have gotten away at the border. Well, my goodness, who would have ever thought that there's a possibility that criminals and terrorists are coming across a wide open border that's welcome to anyone that wants to cross it? I am absolutely shocked, folks. I never in my life would have ever thought that bad people would have been illegally crossing a border. But according to the Border Patrol chief, it's a very real possibility. And considering the amount of millions that are crossing, who knows how bad it's getting. Germany is now considering sending Panther tanks. This is an addition to other tanks that they have been sending, so it's just more escalation. I just had to mention that. This one here is something to be watching. It's not something to go run and hide in your bunkers right now, but definitely something to be watching. The World Health Organization has come out and said that we need to be prepared for a potential H5N1 human bird flu pandemic. Now, this is the H5N1 has been out in birds for 20, 30 years now, and they've always talked about the possibility of that thing making successful transmission into the humans, and now they're watching it transmit into mammals. So it's gone from birds into mammals like otters and all kinds of stuff like that, and they're concerned now because of this transmission that it could easily start to transfer over into humans. And so they're saying we're not in like a immediate concern state, but there is some caution and some worry, and we need to be prepared. So are they foretelling what's to come? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe it's a distraction, maybe it's the real thing, but either way, we have been hearing from all those real good experts like Gates and everyone else that we're due for another one. It's not over yet. There's still another big one, bigger than what we've experienced in the last 3 years, yet to come, way bigger. It's going to be worse, worse, worse. So continue to get yourself prepared. United States, Britain, and Australia, they're carrying out joint air drills in Nevada, which isn't that unusual, except they're specifically doing this in training against fighting the Chinese. That's what they're doing. So we've got our Air Force in Britain and Australia out there training, preparing for battle with the Chinese. It's building, folks. It's building, and at some point, just like I said in this morning's video, at some point something's bound to happen. China may be the first thing that happens. It may be Russia. It may be North Korea. But the way things are going and the fact that no one's trying to de-escalate anything, there's a pretty good chance at this point that something out of all of them, maybe not all, may only be one or two things, but even that's enough. But there's pretty good odds at this point, I would say, that something is going to happen when it comes to more of a global, widespread conflict. And that's why we need to continue getting ourselves prepared. This one here, this is the video that I posted over on Rumble today. You should certainly go check it out. This article that came out yesterday claiming that there's insiders that have gone and blown the whistle on the fact that Biden and him directly in his administration did some covert things over in Norway and the sea over there, the Balkan Sea, to destroy the Nord Stream pipeline. This, folks, this is an act of war. I don't care which side you're on, this is an act of war. In fact, in this article, Seymour Hersh, who's the author and the reporter of this article, he says that his source inside that was involved in the planning of this said that they were so worried that this would leak out because it is considered an act of war. Folks, this isn't over yet. This has only begun. And I can't see any reason whatsoever that Russia would not retaliate in some way unless they just literally aren't capable. And I don't quite believe that. They have certain capabilities that they could put some pain and hurt on us. So this whole thing is escalating, and it's escalating fast, and you just need to be prepared. One last thing on here, folks. We have seen over the last 2 or 3 years the media, the deep state, the government, the politicians, everyone has become more emboldened in this attack towards patriots, towards folks like you and I. We've watched them do their best to weed them out of the military, to brainwash and to re-educate the military and try to get the patriots out. We've watched a steady pace of increasing language against people that are patriotic, okay? And all along, myself and several others have said this eventually is going to shift gears, and it's also going to attack Christianity, Bible-believing people. And here it is, some leaked documents that the FBI is citing the Southern Poverty Law Center, which is a deplorable, horrible organization, but nevertheless, claiming that, you know, far-right traditional Catholics are also dangerous threats to freedom, to democracy. It's not freedom, it's democracy. Now, I know many of you probably aren't Catholics, some of you are. That's not the point to this. The fact is whether you're a Catholic or not, this is an all-out attack on religious beliefs and religious freedoms. And if it's starting there, it eventually get to the Protestants, the Baptists, the Pentecostals, the Messianics. They're going down the line, folks, and they're coming after all of us. We have to get prepared, get out away from these places, start developing plans in your home and in your communities, your little networks of how can you exist and create systems outside of these systems, these counter economies, alternative solutions, alternative systems outside of what we see as the norm, because it's going to get to the point that we're no longer going to be allowed to be part of it, that we're either going to be outlaws, renegades, or just having to hide away and do our own thing because we're no longer allowed to participate in normal society. It's headed that way, and it will probably be that way in my lifetime, I suspect. But either way, we have to get ourselves prepared and get our houses in order, because things are certainly heating up. Folks, right now is the time to do this, to get yourselves prepared mentally, physically, and spiritually. Don't forget to go over to Rumble, link below, and watch the video I posted today and subscribe to that channel also. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.